9.3, we're going to look at another way of approximating error. It's called the Lagrange Air Bound. So far, before this section, we talked about how if you have a geometric series, when you subtract the truncated series from the infinite series, the difference is still geometric, so you can figure out an error formula for a geometric series using a over 1 minus r. We also talked about how to figure out the absolute error for truncating a polynomial, and the way you do that is you subtract the function minus your truncated polynomial to get the difference, and you take the absolute value of that, and that gives you the error. That means that the value you got using the polynomial was within plus or minus some amount of the actual value by using the function instead. New today is something called the Lagrange Air Bound. So this is saying we are going to figure out a number that our error is no bigger than. This is an estimate. It's not the exact error. If you want the exact error, you go back and do the absolute error. You subtract the function from the polynomial. But the Lagrange Air Bound is actually an easier calculation because you don't have to figure out the whole polynomial and plug in as many numbers. But what the Lagrange Air Bound says is we are going to, if we want to figure out for the nth degree, we go one more degree out. So all of these are n plus 1s. You know how in our Taylor series, in our Taylor series, the exponent matches the factorial matches the derivative number. That's true here too. So this is not exponent, this is the derivative. So we go one more term out, and the only part that's different is we don't evaluate the derivative at a, we choose a z that makes our derivative as big as possible. We want to get that, we want that magnitude of the derivative to be as big as possible. And z is going to be some value between a and x. Okay, so we're going to do an example of this, but this is the Lagrange Air Bound formula, and it will make more sense with an example. Okay, so for this example, we want to know what the Lagrange error is for using a 6th degree Taylor series centered at 5 to estimate the value of e to the 7th. Okay, so n for us is going to be 6. A is going to be where we're centered. We're centered at 5. We want to evaluate e to the 7th, so our function is e to the x, and x is going to be 7. All right, so if I set up e sub 6 of 7 is less than or equal to, well, luckily this derivative, if I take the 7th derivative of e to the x, that's still going to be e to the x. So this will be e to the z. I don't know what z is yet. I don't need absolute value bars because I know that's already positive. And then this would be 7 factorial. And then we're going to do x minus a, so 7 minus 5 to the 7th power. Okay. Now, z has to be between 5 and 7, and we want it to be as large as possible. So we're going to use 7 because that would make e to the as large as possible. So e to the 7th divided by 7 factorial times 32 is going to be our error bound for this polynomial. So the benefit of using Lagrange is that I don't have to figure out what the 6th degree Taylor series is. I don't need to evaluate that at 7 and compare it to what e to the 7th actually is. All I need to do is figure out this error estimate. If I grab a calculator, I get e to the 7th divided by 7 times 7 factorial times 32 is about 6.96, which means that it's not a great estimate, although e to the 7th is quite large. So I'm using this Taylor series to estimate the value of e to the 7th. And so I'm within about 7, and it's over 1,000. So, you know, it's not perfect, it's not great, but that's how good my estimate is. The Lagrange error estimate is always an over approximation as well of the error. So it's better than that or equal to that. It's no worse than that. Okay, so there's a picture of that e to the x graph evaluated at 7, and also a picture of the Taylor series evaluated at 7. And so we can see that the error is actually smaller than what we said with the Lagrange Air Bound. It's really like 4.97. That's the actual absolute error. But the Lagrange error, remember, is going to give you an overestimate of what your error is like. But again, this calculation is harder, involves more math than the calculation of the Lagrange error. All right. So we're going to figure out the Lagrange error for using a 4th degree Taylor series centered at pi to estimate the value of sine of 2. Okay, so we need to do, so that means that n is 4, a is pi, and x is 2. So we're going to take the 5th derivative. Oh, f of x is sine. So the 5th derivative, it'd be sine, cosine, negative cosine, positive sine, negative cosine. So the 5th derivative is negative cosine of x. And we're going to evaluate that for some value between 2 and pi, and we want that to be as big as possible. So 2 is a little bigger than pi over 2, and pi is a little bit, okay, so I think that my, cosine, so my x-coordinate is going to be the largest at pi. Well, it's going to be the smallest, but we want the absolute value. So we're going to use, so this value is going to be 1. Okay, so our error at 4 for 2 is going to be 1 over 5 factorial times 2 minus pi, or pi minus 2, 2 minus pi to the 5th. So this time my error is much smaller. We actually don't pay attention to the sign. We just say we're within 0.016 of the actual value. If we use a 5th degree polynomial, we're within 0.016 of the actual value of sine of 2. So this is how Lagrange error works. I will point out that a lot of times when we're using a function like sine, we know the derivative is going to be a bunch of sines and cosines. We don't actually even usually think this hard about what z value we want to use. We just say, well, we know the domain, we know the range of sine and cosine is between -1 and 1. So we know that the worst we can get is to use a 1 for that value in our Lagrange error estimate. And a lot of times we'll just do that without even really thinking about what our domain is. Just saying, I know that cosine and sine are just going to be stuck between -1 and 1. And that's good enough for the Lagrange error because it's just an estimate of what the error is. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's a summary of Lagrange Air Bound. Please try that pink worksheet and let me know if you need help.